burned down our house, but before we tell you the story, let's see what exactly caused it. So now that you saw what we were doing, we were cutting the leftover wood that we threw down from the barn. So this is what caused it. It's a cheap extension cable we bought on the market, and I guess you should not cheap out with extensions that you're going to be using. It's not like the most highest voltage. 2 kilowatts, 2.5 kilowatts is not really the most voltage, and this should be able to handle way more than that. But yeah, as you can see, it caused a problem. Luckily, we stopped cutting the wood, we took a break, and we could hear alarms going off. We have these alarms from Xsense, and we could hear it from all the way outside, which is quite amazing that you can even hear them outside far away. And we were, thinking maybe it's the smoke from the stove, because sometimes the stove smokes and causes these to go off, or the monoxide goes off, something else. But then you come in, open the door, and you smell straight away it's rubber. So you know it's electrical burning, and my biggest fear is something in the ceiling burning, but luckily all of that is secure and nice and been tested for 4 years now, and none of it has a single problem. And it was this plug. So straight away, first thing I didn't look for the problem of the fault. I flipped the breakers since they didn't flip themselves. I don't know if this was not enough current to flip out the breakers, but I flipped them out, and yeah, as soon as I did that, then I found the problem was over here. And yeah, luckily this curtain didn't catch on fire, because this thing is like polyester and it would be on the ceiling, and the ceiling is, bone dry, so that thing would burn very fast. And yeah, all would be left is with just the frame of the house. All the roof and ceiling would be all gone. And I guess it was burning, but not burned enough to be disconnected. And yeah, this cheap end, I guess, was the cause of it. So I'm gonna probably cut it off and put a different end. You can buy the ends, waterproof ends separately. And we're just not gonna use this for any high load, and especially inside. We're just gonna use it in the barn or outside for something, just to extend something smaller, and use the proper nice European made power plug for proper big tools. Because we do have a proper one, it was just taken away by something else, and we use this one. Clearly this is not the choice for such a usage, and clearly had a problem. Luckily we have them in every single room, bedrooms, everything, even in the entrance hall, even in the storage room, everywhere a single one of these. And yeah, these are also from Xsense. In today's video we actually have sponsor, which is Xsense, for completely different, which is thermometers and hydrometers that you put around the house and they show you in your app. That's gonna be later on. That's not really related with the fire. So the first thing we're gonna do is change the socket. The socket is still working, it's not a problem. It didn't break a single thing, I opened it already, and it's inside perfectly fine. So that is not the cause of fire. The cause of fire was the plug. So we're just gonna replace it to a better one, since this one is, a bit burnt up and I don't really feel like using it still. So let's replace it with a better one. and this has to go before. So it took a while to set this up because these are drywall plugs, so they're meant to go in drywall, but you can buy these little boxes so you can put them on actual walls, and I think it looks really good. These are high quality plugs and definitely way better than that cheap stuff that we took off. So we have to replace all the house plugs to this because these are just better. And the reason I didn't want to buy one of this, first of all, I couldn't find a good quality one, and one that had 3 even, 2 was max, and it was exactly the same thing as we just took off. And yeah, so you couldn't get a good one of that. And we put one in the bathroom, the waterproof ones with the covers, and they actually had a bad connection, so they hadn't tightened one of the cables, and it was actually starting to get hot, and I luckily changed it all, and that's how it came from the factory, so it didn't have a good tighten on the cable. So it's better that I connect all of them good, and I test every cable that it's strong and good connection. And in this case I have really good sockets. I did put 2 of them pointing that way and 1 pointing down. It's also for this little night light that we have for going to toilet. It's really good that it points down because otherwise it blocks the next plug next to it. And also, you know, some things point down, and like this coffee machine plug, which is temporary, is going there, so it's much better that it points that way instead of pointing down. But I feel like that's a good upgrade. We're gonna do more of those everywhere throughout the house. It is quite expensive to do it like this. I think in total it's like 10 euros for just this whole setup. But it's definitely worth it because of the quality, and it looks really good. So yeah, let's move on to the interesting part, which is our wireless thermometers from Xsense.
Wi-Fi connected. Device added.
So this is all set up, and it's working amazingly. We're seeing the temperature and humidity of each room, and big thanks to Xsense for sending this over. So yeah, we got to review it. So check out the link down below if you're interested in this. They also have smoke alarms, security systems, many other things. So it's not just that what they're making. They have a lot of different things, and they all work together on your phone app. So yeah, and as you know, the smoke detector has already saved our house, so that is amazing already. So I think for that reason, it's amazing that we didn't lose our house just because we have smoke alarms. So I think without smoke alarms, you just can't exist in this world. And a lot of times, the monoxide has also saved our life by telling us that the stove is blowing back in once there's not enough draft or wind is blowing in and it gets too cold and it just blows in. We know to open windows and straight away to ventilate out the room. So the monoxide is also extremely useful. Another thing I wanted to mention is that today is the 29th, and every 4 years it's 29 days in February, and last time it was when we first arrived here, so it's been 4 years since we arrived here, which a lot of you already know, but it's kind of weird because we nearly burned our house down on the 4-year mark of being here, so luckily we didn't, so let's make sure in the future that doesn't happen. But yep, hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna see you next time. Bye bye.
Let's make sure that next 29th we're still here.
Yeah.